If you are not fully inspired and committed, you will not transform. So what is it going to be? And if you are not a 10, ask yourself, what's holding me back from a 10? Ask yourself, what pleasure is transforming going to bring me in life? Because transformation can be pretty spectacular. And don't just think of yourself. Think of the world. Think of your community. Think of your family. By you transforming, what is that going to do for your life? Life is long. Think of it, I am 22 right now. If I live to 80, I almost have 3 more lives. Even if you're 50, 60, 70, think of how much longer you have. Instead of sitting there when you're getting closer and closer to death, you have the opportunity to transform it now. Even if you only had a year left to live, or a day even, you can choose to transform. Life is created moment to moment. So these emotions, these thoughts that you're going through, this rough patch, this pit that you're in that you feel like you cannot get out of, life is long, and you're capable of getting out. And asking for help from somebody that's already gotten out of the pit, gotten over the hurdle, whether they went through it, under it, over it, it doesn't matter. They got through it, so they have a process for you. So ask for help. Welcome back to the Prosperous Life Podcast. This is Braiden Belnap. I'm a transformation life coach, entrepreneur, and each week I bring you a transformational message to help you become your authentic self, create your vision for life, so that you can live a prosperous life while making an impact. This week we're talking about asking for help. The importance of this topic is extraordinary. And as we talk today, if you find any transformational message that you feel would benefit a friend in asking for help, I would encourage you to share it with them. It won't just allow this podcast to reach more people, it'll allow me and you to make a difference in this world together. I want to thank you all for each and every one of you that consistently show up each and every week, listen in, tune in, let me know your thoughts, how I can be better, but also the things that I've done right to serve you. I greatly appreciate that. With that in mind, let's go ahead and dive in. The moment you ask for help is the moment you become strong. As asking for help is one of the most vulnerable things. And vulnerability is something that quite a bit of people struggle with. You know, there's thoughts of, what do people think of me? Can I change? Is there really anybody like me? When you're being vulnerable, there's a lot of questions that you ask yourself. Now, the moment I asked for help is the moment that everything transformed. The moment I asked for help is when everything transformed. Whether that went for teachers in a subject that I was having a hard time understanding, or I was having a hard time at school, so I asked teachers to move me around to where I was able to sit in a place that would serve me. Or it was asking the principal for advice, or the hall monitor, or whether it was asking a parent, or whether it was asking a mentor, somebody in my community, a leader. You can grow in all areas of life. And when you begin to ask for help, whether it is in school, church, business, career, that is when you begin to transform. Now, this is for you, whether that you've been asking for help, or whether you're the person that feels like asking questions is stupid, nobody understands me, and whether you're in a pit. This is for you. This is a podcast to encourage you all to ask for help. I'm really excited for this podcast because, unfortunately, people stay silent. People stay silent, and when people stay silent, they get in their own head. And the bitch in our back of our heads is getting stronger and stronger when we stay silent. And when we even think about speaking up, that voice gets louder. So the question is, what is it going to be? Are you going to listen to the voice in the back of yourself, or are you going to begin to serve yourself? Because you have an opportunity to transform your struggles today and lean on a community. Lean on peers, lean on God, lean on other people that have gone through exactly what you've gone through. And through that, you're able to take it and serve people. And that's such a beautiful thing. When you take your struggles and you help somebody that's gone through that is going through what you used to go through, and you help transform that, that is a blessing. It can't get better than that. Now, when you understand the process of transformation, it makes it easier to ask for help because you know exactly what you need to do. Again, unfortunately speaking, most people stay silent. Most people don't speak up for the things that they need or want in life. Most people, if they're sad, depressed, anxious, having a hard time in their relationship, having a hard time with themselves, have low confidence, having a hard time succeed in school, getting into drugs, addicted to alcohol, they have a hard time asking for help, and so they stay silent. And then it festers. And then it pops, or blows up. That's a lot of pressure to keep on yourself if you're struggling that much. Everybody's bomb, blow up, popping is different. And sometimes, unfortunately speaking, it is suicide. I know people that have taken their own lives. And I'm sure you listening to this, have some type of connection to somebody that has also taken their own life. So today, in remembrance of that, of you asking for help moving forward, and the individual that didn't have the strength to ask for help, remember them as we go through this podcast. Take into consideration how they serve this world, what they offer to this world, and what this world would be like if they were still around. And let that fuel you in asking for help if you're in that state. Don't let it fester alone. Talk to somebody. Let's work through this together. Now the question really comes down to, in transforming this, is where are you today? Are you sad? Are you depressed? Did you just lose somebody? Are you doing something that you know you should be doing? Are you doing something that you know you shouldn't be doing? Where are you at? What is it that you're looking to transform? Now, understand. Really take an understanding and a bird's eye approach of what's truly going on for you. What's going on? What pain are you feeling? Where's that pain coming from? Is it from society? Is it coming from a parent? Is it coming from a friend, a teacher, principal? Where did these thoughts come from? Because if the thoughts are saying, I hate you, you're ugly, you're worthless, kill yourself, whatever that is, I don't believe that's coming from you. I really don't. So ask yourself, who is this voice coming from? and recognize that it is not your own. God gave you a life. God wants you to live in peace and happiness and joy. You were not programmed the moment you were born into this life with those thoughts. So feel that pain, that emotion, those thoughts. Is that something that you want to live with for the rest of your life? Or is that something that you're ready to let go? I don't believe that you should or will live with those forever. As long as you're willing to transform, you can live a prosperous life. So how committed are you to transforming that? On a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you committed to transform your thoughts and your emotions? How committed are you? Because if you're a 5, you're probably not going to transform. If you're an 8, probably not going to transform. If you're a 9, yeah, you're still not going to transform. You have to be a 10. Because life gets hard, as you know. Whether that's in school, career, business, investments, family, relationships, yourself. If you are not fully inspired and committed, you will not transform. So what is it going to be? And if you are not a 10, ask yourself, what's holding me back from a 10? Ask yourself, what pleasure is transforming going to bring me in life? Because transformation can be pretty spectacular. And don't just think of yourself. Think of the world. Think of your community. Think of your family. By you transforming, what is that going to do for your life? Life is long. Think of it. I am 22 right now. If I live to 80, I almost have 3 more lives. Even if you're 50, 60, 70, think of how much longer you have. Instead of sitting there when you're getting closer and closer to death, you have the opportunity to transform it now. Even if you only had a year left to live, or a day even, you can choose to transform. Life is created moment to moment. So these emotions, these thoughts that you're going through, this rough patch, this pit that you're in that you feel like you cannot get out of, life is long, and you're capable of getting out. And asking for help from somebody that's already gotten out of the pit, gotten over the hurdle, whether they went through it, under it, over it, it doesn't matter. They got through it, so they have a process for you. So ask for help. Now ask yourself, what action do I need to take? I know what I'm doing. I know what I need to do. I have an understanding of it. I want to transform it. So what are you replacing it with? Okay, so you want to go from depressed to happy, sad to joy, unorganized to organized, unsuccessful to successful, making $1,000 a week to making $10,000 a week? What is it? Okay, so what action can you take immediately? Without any hesitation, in this moment. If you're going to transform, you need to take action immediately. It's not tomorrow or next week. It's immediate, right now. What action can you take right now? If you're depressed, can you sing a song at the top of your lungs? Can you dance? If you're unsuccessful, can you make one more call? Can you make one more call to a relationship? Can you schedule a meeting? Can you send an email? If you want to become more spiritual and learn more about God or Jesus, can you read one more scripture? One more page? If you want to be closer to your wife, can you write her a letter, a note, even a small one, or a quick text? Whether that's parent, family, anybody, that can go for them as well. What's one thing you can do right now? And what's one thing you can consistently do as time goes on? It doesn't have to be anything crazy for this one action. You just have to change your identity right now. no questions asked. And after that, you then can move forward and take bigger action on a consistent basis. If you're transforming a relationship, maybe it's a date night once a week. Or it's a conversation once a day. If you're transforming your success, maybe it's making an extra 10, 20, 30 calls a day. Or another meeting one more meeting extra each week. If it's yourself, maybe you give yourself a little bit of extra time for meditation, prayer, looking at your vision board, writing in a journal, going on a nature walk, working out. And through time, as you do those extra things consistently, your gap will begin to be filled. And as time goes on, you may recognize, this action isn't driving the result that I was really looking for. And that's where you have the opportunity to evolve. Evolution is what gets you from 1 to 100. What gets you to 1 to 100 won't get you from 100 to 200. You always have to be evolving to get to the next level. So now you understand the process of evaluating, understanding, transforming, and taking action. And that's really the four fundamentals of change in anything. Now that you understand that in your plan and path, that's a start. Now you have an opportunity to ask for help. You're confident in transforming your life in this specific area. Now you go search for resources and help for those of which have already achieved what you're looking to achieve. And yes, that's vulnerable. Now, when you become your strongest is when you ask for help. So if you master the art of asking for help, you will always be successful. It's the times that you find excuses not to ask for help, not to find a resource, that you will fail. I should say, not achieve what you're looking to achieve. The person that succeeds is the person that is resourceful. The person that doesn't succeed is a person that thinks that they can do it on their own. And doing it on your own has proven over and over again in business, career, life, relationships, church, that doing it on your own alone is not enough. It doesn't work. We're human. We have a natural connection to other human. Take advantage of it for somebody that's already achieved what you're looking to achieve. Unfortunately, most people stay in silence as they're scared to be judged and feel like people do not understand them. There's an opportunity to be vulnerable, to find people that do not understand you. There's an opportunity to be vulnerable, to find people that do understand you, as there is a lot out there. Whether you're suicidal, depressed, sad, happy, anxious, excited, successful, unsuccessful, looking to get into real estate, already in real estate, wrote a book, looking to write a book, built a course, looking to write a course, wanting to do interior design, doing interior design, planting, whatever it is, everything in life, somebody's already done. Somebody's already done what you want to do, so go find the resource and learn from them. Now, if you're scared to go to a community or a friend or a family member or a therapist or a life coach, that's okay. Let's take it one step at a time. We don't need to go from 1 to 100 really quick here. Life's a journey. Life's about consistency, one step at a time. Start with God. Start praying. Start meditating. Start journaling about the things that you're grateful for, but also the things that you need. Now, when you ask for happiness, don't expect just to get happiness. Expect opportunities that will bring you happiness. That doesn't mean it's going to be easy, right? Just like anything, To be successful, there's habits. To be happy, there's habits. And that doesn't mean it's going to be comfortable. Let's start with God. Start between you and Him. And as time goes on, develop that relationship. As you can always ask for help there. And if you don't believe in God, if you don't believe in Jesus, Buddha, Hinduism, anything, that's okay. Just begin asking for something that's higher than yourself. Find a connection with nature. Find a connection with the sky. Find a connection with crystals. Find a connection with music. Find a connection with the mountains. Find a connection with animals. Find a connection with plants. It doesn't matter. Just find something that you can see higher than yourself. And begin praying, meditating, journaling, as I mentioned. And as you begin to ask for help, you will be given opportunities to find success. Now, after you see your transformation, you asking for help, and you starting to take some action, ask for help from somebody that you love, a friend. Not just anybody, but somebody that will actually serve you. Just because you love somebody and just because they're friends or family doesn't mean they're the best person to ask. So when you ask for somebody that you love and care about, make sure they are the right person. From there, begin to ask for a community. Whether you're depressed, sad, happy, again, I could go on. There is many groups out there that will find and help you win in life. You just have to be willing to put yourself out there. Put yourself out there in a community that can support you, and you'll actually find that you'll actually have a lot to serve other people as well. God gave you a life. What that means is you have a destiny. You have a purpose here. You have gifts that nobody else has. Humans are like snowflakes. Nobody is the same. It's virtually impossible. So that means your journey is going to be different than other people's journey. Although you can find similarities and similar goals, and you can serve each other amongst that group and that community that drive you forward. So ask for help. Start with God. Start with somebody you love, and then move to a community. Now serve the world. Serving the world is one of the most important things. God uses everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, in your life. Imagine this. You're baking a cake, and you take out the egg, you take out the flour, you take out all the gross stuff. How does your cake turn out? You tell me. When I ask this question, I've heard gross, dusty, disgusting, flat. It doesn't turn out very good. So mix in everything. Most people try to forget the bad and the ugly. But those are the diamonds in your life. Those are where you learn. The problems make you get closer to the life lessons in life that serve yourself and others to never repeat it again. So keep molding to life. Mold to create you. Mold to serve the world. Mold the good, the bad, and the ugly together. Mix it up so that you can make a beautiful cake. So that when you get to the end of your life, you can give God this beautiful cake and know that you achieved your destiny. Without sharing and being vulnerable about the things you've gone through, nobody wins. To me, that's one of the biggest sins of all, is when an individual goes through something and they don't share it. Because a person that they just met at the grocery store could have been going through the same exact thing and needed your guidance. And through you not being vulnerable and sharing your life lessons, that person now gets to suffer because you chose not to serve. To me, that is one of the biggest sins of all, is not being vulnerable with a community, with strangers. Now, I'm not saying you have to spill everything, all the beans, right away. Take time to heal. Although when you're healed and you've made the choice to heal, you didn't heal just to forget, to repeat yourself, or to allow somebody else to go through what you've gone through. You healed so that you can serve everybody. When you've healed, scream your lessons from the rooftops. Travel the world. Be a missionary all the time. Teach your life lessons everywhere you go. Whether it's in your city or your community, or whether you're to a different country. Serve the world with what you know served you. And you will begin to recognize that your pain serves the masses. You'll begin to recognize that you're an everyday hero. A lot of people compare the big and think that they're small. Yet sometimes the biggest things, sure, they can make the biggest impact, but that impact can also be destructive. Sometimes the smallest things, even though it looks so small, makes the biggest impact. So don't underestimate your power and what you can do for one life. Think of if you were the person that helped J.K. Rowling, or the person that coached Kobe Bryant, or the person that coached Michael Jackson, or the person that helped Tony Robbins, or the person that decided not to commit suicide because you waved and smiled at them and shared what you believed in life. I could go on. The things that you do can become something massive for people. Life's a journey. The moment I asked for help is the moment I changed. The moment I transformed. The moment I began to share my vulnerabilities of my past and what I've gone through is the moment people began opening up to me and I began to make a difference. So yes, you may be in a hard time right now. Take the time to understand the process of transformation and whether you're really committed or not. And if you're not committed, of course, you can find out why and transform them. Once you understand that it's easier to ask for help, start with God. Start with a loved one and begin to build a community around that so that you can be served, but you can also serve the world. Life is pretty powerful. And when you're around people, you get to shout from the rooftops and you get to serve and you get to see people transform beneath your eyes. So ask for help. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with a friend, especially if they need to learn to ask for help. As you sharing this podcast could be a result in them asking for help in some sort of way, which can make a world of a transformation that me and you both caused. Of course, we can't take credit for their transformations. They still ultimately made that decision. Now, if you want to read the show notes, there's important notes there. And if you want to subscribe, I'd really appreciate that as we can transform this world together. Leave a review. Thank you so much. Follow me on Braiden Belnap. Share your thoughts, your passions, your purposes with me. I would love to support you. Thanks. Bye-bye.